Today, vehicle sales lowest since 2011. Hello again, it's Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics, today's post covering finance and prop news with a distinctively Australian flavour. The latest data from the Federal Chamber of Automotive Industries, or the FCAI, which is the peak representative organisation for companies who distribute new passenger vehicles, light commercial vehicles and motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles in Australia, further confirms the economic slowdown. This sales data, which is supplied by the industry because the ABS no longer reports on this particular category due to budget constraints, was calculated through the Automotive Industry Statistical Service VFACS, which will be enhanced through systems improvements from the 1st of January 2020. This data is, as necessary, verified against the National Registration Database, and when confirmed, vehicles are accepted into the monthly VFACS reporting system. But in summary, for the full calendar year 2019, a total of 1,062,867 new vehicles were recorded as sold, and that's a 7.8% decrease on full year 2018. The 2019 figure is the slowest annual results reported in VFACS since 2011. And this gives a combined decline from the historic peak back in 2017 of 10.8%. The sales declines in 2019 got worse all year, in fact well before the horrific bushfires began. And on a monthly basis, 84,239 new vehicle sales were recorded for December 2019, and that's a decrease of 3.8% from December 2018. And they said 2019 reflects a tough year for the Australian economy, with challenges including tightening of lending, movements in exchange rates, slow wages growth, and of course the extreme environmental factors our country is experiencing. SUV sales, which now hold 45.5% of the total market, was up 2.5% from 2018. And continuing the full year comparison, light commercial vehicles share grew by 0.6 percentage points to 21.2% of the market, while passenger motor vehicles decreased by 3.1% to 29.7%. And whilst holding the largest share of the market, sales of SUVs declined for the full year 2019 by 2.4% compared to 2018. And sales of passenger vehicles declined by 16.5%, and sales of light commercial vehicles declined by 5.2%. The Toyota Hilux again claimed the title of number one selling vehicle in 2019 across all categories, with 47,649 sales. The Hilux was followed by the Ford Ranger, again number two in the market with 40,960 sales, followed by the Toyota Corolla at 30,468 and the Hyundai i30 at 28,378, and then the Mitsubishi Triton at 25,819. And across the brands, Toyota led the market in 2019 with a 19.4% market share, followed by Mazda at 9.2%, Hyundai at 8.1%, Mitsubishi at 7.8% and Ford at 6%. And by the way, it's worth noting that the full data set is only available for paying VFACS subscribers. And it's worth reflecting on the tumbling consumer confidence data that's just come out as well. And this suggests that in the light of the bushfires, in the light of ongoing slow wages growth, consumption will continue to ease back. So my expectation is that vehicle sales will continue to be very weak through 2020. And by the way, sales are also down in the other major markets as Carmageddon spreads. For example, in the USA, the total was not pretty, although not every automaker was hit by declining sales. New car and truck sales Retail and fleet fell 1.2% in 2019 from a year ago and 2.5% from the peak in 2016 to 17.11 million vehicles. This makes it the third year in a row below the 2016 peak, and it was 1.4% below the prior peak set in 2000. The totals delivered in 2019 of 17.1 million vehicles was below the 17.35 million deliveries back in 2000, and it shows how horribly mature the market is despite a rising population. The market is impacted by a complex set of changes, including the continually rising average age of vehicles on the road and some structural trends such as more people moving into high-rises in the city centre, focus of much of the housing construction boom over the last decade, where cars are expensive to park and often less necessary. And in Canada, sales of passenger cars and light trucks fell 3.7% to 1.91 million vehicles in 2019, and that's the second year in a row of declines and down 6.1% from the peak year back in 2017. Car sales plunged 16.1% in 2019 from an already very low level to an even lower level of 484,687 units, having dropped every year since 2014. And the share of car sales as a percentage of total new vehicle sales dropped to 25% in 2019 from a share of 45% in 2012. And truck sales rose 1.6% to 1.43 million units for a share of 75% of total new vehicle sales, up from a share of 55% back in 2012. The category of trucks includes pickups, SUVs, compact SUVs and vans. And since 2012, car sales have plunged 36%, while trucks have soared 56%. So another leading indicator, I think, of more economic weakness ahead, both locally here in Australia and more broadly across the world. I'm Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.